Hey, it's been a while, and you know, we've been just plugging away. I had 2 long weeks on the road recruiting. Got 2 Saturday practices in. The last 2 Saturdays, got one in yesterday, and again another one today. So we got 4 practices in, and our kids are doing good. Getting back to being fresh. They got through their finals, so there's no stress of schoolwork and going to school, and they got a little bit more free time on their hands. So I think we'll have a fresh team. Looking forward to our game up in Detroit against Eastern Michigan and Coach Creighton. Questions?
I mean, how's the morale of the team? Obviously, you didn't finish the season how you wanted. I mean, how's everyone responding to that?
I think, again, we talk about this all the time. I think, kids, teams are resilient. And, if you don't pay attention to the details, okay, you don't take care of the little things, the big things will get you. And the big thing is either winning or losing. And, I think they're good. I mean, like they've been all year, really. I mean, we had a chance to win that football game, as you guys know, and I don't want to go back 3 weeks ago, whatever, how many weeks it was. But we moved on to the next. That chapter was closed a couple weeks ago, and the morale's good. I mean, it's I think it's really good. We're getting ready for a great opponent in a great atmosphere at Ford Field. I think our kids are looking forward to not going to a cold atmosphere and playing out in the cold, which we've done in New York, we've done in D.C. I mean, we get to practice in a dome, which I think is huge. I think it's going to be a great experience for them. I'm really looking forward to it.
Pat, what stands out about the way they throw football?
I mean, they're going to throw it, they're going to run it. I mean, they're pretty balanced in what they do. They're going to look to the sideline. They're going to try to check. They're going to try to get into the best possible play they can. They're going to try to tempo you after a big play. But they're accurate. They do a good job of dissecting what they're getting and looking at the sideline. We got to do a good job mixing it up. I mean, they're going to look to the sideline. We're going to look to the sideline and change our defense with them. So those are all. It's going to be a cat and mouse type football game. But they do a nice job.
Are you using these practices as getting some work for the younger guys and maybe didn't get as much work during the season?
No question. No question about it. We've gotten a lot of good work with those. First 2 Saturday practices was a lot of developmental work. Older guys were getting reps too, but more. Working on the young guys. Not only in team periods but in individual periods. So it's a developmental period for sure. Getting an opportunity to watch those young guys, coach those young guys, and then also bring them in the meeting room and watch their tape with them.
Do you expect any freshmen that have not played yet this season to maybe get some action in the bowl game?
Might be one that I can think of. Kalijah Cansey's done a nice job all year at D tackle, and we may just sprinkle him in there. I mean, I kind of want to see him go. He's got 4 games to go, so we're going to use one. So if we get the opportunity, he might be one that has not played that may get some work.
Pat, do you do anything differently? Have you changed at all, like the way you approach the bowl practices since you started as a head coach?
You know what? Yearly we change. You do some different stuff. I'm not going to attribute not winning a bowl game to what we do. I mean, it's like you can think that it's had a lot of success. We do things very similar to what we did when we won a Rose Bowl and a Cotton Bowl. So to me, it's not what we're doing during the week. It's what we're doing on game day and maybe your opponent. We had a chance to beat Stanford a year ago. So I mean, it's just we can look back and say why. It's having an all attitude and going to get it done.
How is having the signing period being in the middle of bowl practice changed the role of a head coach during this time of the year?
It's changed a lot. I'm trying to watch videotape and I'm on the phone a lot. Can't get a whole lot of football work done, which is a good thing. We got 9 days and 7 hours, whatever the countdown says. But it's changed a lot, and obviously tomorrow's a big day. Find out what we get for the future. We're excited.
Since the season ended, a lot of your guys got some postseason recognition, specifically Jalen Twyman. What can you say about how he performed this whole season?
He was a guy that, again, I've said this a million times, he works his tail off in the classroom, on the field. I was just talking to someone out there today on the field, like, do you think, that wasn't, like, giving it everything he had, kind of didn't jump in when the ones were up there in an individual drill, didn't jump in there and be the number one guy. And the one thing I said to him, I said, you think Jalen Twyman would let the number 2 D tackle jump in front of him in a drill? And it's who he is. The guy's got a motor. There's nobody going to stop him. His All-American honors are well received. They're deserved, and couldn't be happier for Jalen. And some other guys should be in that same range. I think we got some other guys that could be All-Americans based on the defensive way we played, whether it was Patrick Jones, which I don't know if all the All-American things have come out. Paris Ford, I mean, he's, with his numbers and what he's done, I mean, there's three guys on defense that you say, like, why not me?
Speaking of those juniors, what kind of feedback are they getting from the NFL?
They're not getting any feedback from the NFL. I mean, it takes a while, again, I'm not gonna talk about who did what, and, because I think it's personal business, but some guys have sent their stuff in, and it'll be probably right before Christmas we find out. We'll get a letter and it'll give us a description of, hey, first round, second round, or stay in school, and that's all we'll get. It'll be a form letter. All three of them, it'll say the same thing. They're not gonna say, hey, we like this, like that, and it's gonna be all based on what you do on the field. It'll be based on nothing else. It's not gonna be based on testing results or, character or anything else. It's all based on what the videotape looks like, period.
Has it been more than those three that you mentioned, or more than?
I don't know,
More than?
Jerry. I don't know.
Check back with me. Okay?
I'll get back with you. Again, it doesn't matter who gets it. Again, those are, I think, all personal decisions, whether it was two. I don't know how you say it's three.
You mentioned Jones, Twyman, and I maybe didn't mention theirs, but.
I think I mentioned about maybe guys that could be All-Americans, but
Yeah.
I didn't mention it there anyway. Come on, don't be putting words in my mouth. I don't know how many it is, but we all know we can only have a max of 5.
You had mentioned the little mistakes overall. Does that really encapsulate the issues with the offense, and what have you guys been able to do to kind of correct those mistakes?
I mean, you look at the last game, we came down to ball security, and, and really the three of the 4 turnovers were, true freshmen that, made some mistakes. And when you're playing with true freshmen, we're not talking about All-American candidates on offense right now, unfortunately. But when you're playing with young guys, I mean, Jared's the first one, Vince, Davis is the second one. Really, I mean, you guys, Jerry will for sure blame Kenny for the pick, but it really wasn't Kenny's fault. It's a wrong route, and he's supposed to be where he is, and it's not Kenny's fault. I mean, we can point at Kenny, but you guys, that's why you guys are holding cameras and not a clipboard. And then again, the one older guy that put the ball on the ground was A.J. Davis, who got whacked pretty good, but you got to hold on to the ball.
Pat, the red zone offense issues have been persistent throughout the entire season.
Mhm.
Kenny said after the game that he thought the bowl practices could help
Mhm.
at least move it in the right direction.
Right.
How have you maybe seen that so far?
So far, again, we're working, normal downs, but we'll get into the red zone. But I think, we worked some red zone, worked some sudden change in the red zone today. And again, it's more against Eastern Michigan and what they're doing, but, it's a big off-season, job, I think. It's a matter of our offense going back, even, what we're doing here in the last few days is go back, looking at self-scout about what we're doing, why are we having problems down there, what are we doing to correct it?
We talked to Charlie before, and I think he kind of described bowl practice as like a second spring almost. Is that kind of a good way to describe it?
Yeah, like Jerry said earlier, it's a developmental period for the young guys, but it's also getting ready for a football game and a bowl game. So I don't want to emphasize, I mean, the emphasis is winning a bowl game. That's what we do. But we're also at the same time going to give those younger guys opportunity to get the reps and have fun. And, they're practicing every day, and they're not maybe playing with the good fundamentals. Everybody's focused on the offense and the defense as far as, not really the guys that are, help service our offense and defense. So this is the time to service them. We've had 10 minutes for the last 4 days, and or at least 4 practices that we've been out there to give those guys time, and that's the minimum. I mean, there's times where we went, our first practice 2 weeks ago was 3 plays with the ones on offense and 3 plays with the twos, and then the rest of the period was just the young guys. So we've gotten a lot of work at it, but, as we found out our opponent, the focus becomes more towards them. And again, we know we've only got, let me see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 practices left until game time. That's all we'll get in, and as we get closer, it'll be less of that. But, the good thing is we can do it at this point. We can afford to go, some what we call showtime with these young guys because, and again, we want to stay healthy, but you can afford if you get someone banged up. We have to be able to practice. We got to be able to service each other. I mean, when you have 4 offensive linemen, maybe, then it's a problem. Okay, so that's kind of what you deal with. So you kind of look at your roster every day and say, can we practice? Can we do this together? What if somebody goes down? And that's what concerns me.
Pat, what are your thoughts on the ACC bowl selection process? You guys finished 75, and there are 3, 6, and 6 teams that are selected ahead.
You know what? Again, it is what it is. I'm not really going to get into it. This is the thing I can tell you. I'm happy to be in Detroit. I'm happy to play in the Dome. Okay? you know, the bowl selection process, you know, it's really not it's the bowl selecting, it's not the ACC, which is kind of disappointing. I don't really care. But the other thing is, you know, New York doesn't want to see a team, you know, again, that they saw 3 years ago. You know, neither, they want to kind of go 4 years. And to be honest with you, the guys that sit in these front rows, if they've been to those other places, they probably don't want to go back either. They've been there, they want to go do something else. So, you know, I think too many people worry about what bowl game, you know, that they're in. And like I said, I'm excited. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's another game. We get to play another game. There's, you know, a lot of teams out there that don't get to play that extra game. But, you know, understood. But, you know, again, you guys can talk tier 1, tier 2. It doesn't matter. You know, I don't really want to go back to New York. I didn't really want to go back to DC, you know, because our kids have already been there. And I've never been to the same bowl game twice. And I think that's what the ACC tries to do. I think that's what they want. We'll end up, I mean, you know, I don't know if the Birmingham Bowl's good or not, but, you know, they went 3 times in a row. I don't think that should happen. So I don't know what the process was back then, but to go to the same place 3 years in a row, I think that's bad. That's even worse than what we've got now.
Anything final before we get to first team ACC center Jimmy Morrison?
Patrick? Good, Jerry.
Last week, you said that you expect everybody to play. Is that still the case a week later? And is that a dangerous trend around college football?
You know what, I think it's all the culture of the football team you have, Jerry. You know, you can call it dangerous. You know, I don't know if I'd call it dangerous because it just gives another guy an opportunity. You know, you understand when players have to do it, want to do it. You know, again, that's not the culture of Pitt football right now. And you know, does that change? I can't tell you. But I don't expect anybody not to play in the game. I don't expect, you know, to have that. But, you know, crazier things have happened in the world. But, you know, our kids want, you know, I think our kids want to play, and they want to play for each other. And that's the important thing.
It was the same question.
All right.